views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Welcome to the Kelly-Ballard-Show. Insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Kelly Ballard is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from your loved ones on the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Now, here's your host, Kelly Ballard.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. I'm Kelly Ballard, and you are listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond on Transformation Talk Radio. Thank you so much for joining me today, and it is a absolutely beautiful day in upstate New York. The sun is out. It's not too hot. It is a great day to be alive and to connect in with spirit. I'm so glad that you've joined me. So stay with me for the next hour. We're going to open up your hearts and your minds. We're going to connect in with spirit and educate ourselves with this just awesome divine energy of what is out there in the universe. We are going to cover a variety of topics today, and I'm excited because we're going to talk about some things that are very near and dear to my heart. And most importantly, we'll also be taking some callers. You guys blew my socks off last week with how many of you were calling in. And I'm so glad that I was able to connect in with those of you who were able to get through. So we're going to try to open up the phone lines a little earlier today so I can take some more calls. And you can reach me when we open those lines up at 800-930-2819. And I'll be sure to remind you of that number as we go throughout the show today as well. And I'm really excited because I will also be giving away one free 30-minute reading to a lucky caller that calls in today. So I'm happy to do that, and we'll have a lot of fun. So as some of you might be aware, if you checked in with the show last week, I talked a little bit about a process that I try to do daily called automatic writing. And it's a process where you allow a just beautiful, beautiful divine spirit to work through you, to give you insight, to give you information, guidance, wisdom from the other side that can be helpful. And it sort of removes the human ego, and you just surrender and allow yourself to chat. So what I wanted to do also was to try to share a message with you guys each show from Spirit. As much as I would love to be able to talk to everybody, we can't always do that. So at least hopefully through that little automatic writing message, which I'll give you a little later in the show, give you a little inspiration, a little TLC and love from Spirit. So as you guys know, a part of my job as being a medium is obviously to connect you in with the living, or connect you as the living in with those who are on the other side, who are past. And, people always ask, well, what can I ask Spirit, and what questions do I want? And, they can be things from, hey, my grandma's on the other side. How's she doing? What does she think about the house I bought? Or what does she think about my kids? To who is around me on the other side? Who's watching over me? Who's with me? Hey, Kelly, who's my spirit guide? And what are they helping me with? Or what does Spirit think that is for my highest and best to know? So some people come to me with very, very specific questions of what they need help and guidance with. And some people just throw everything out to the universe and say, whatever I need, I know that they'll give me. And again, that number to call in for our call-ins later in the show is 800-930-2819. And of course, you can find me online at www.reflectiveharmony.com for more information about how to schedule a private reading with me in person or over the phone, to read about any upcoming classes or workshops that I have. And I am in the middle right now of planning a really fun event that will be coming up in the fall. So you can keep yourself posted on there. And of course, you can always find me on Facebook too. I'll be updating throughout the show some information. So before we get into today's topic, I wanted to talk a little bit for a couple moments about kind of this really interesting energetic shift, this wacky kind of energy that people have been feeling recently. And it seems that it's probably one of the most frequent questions that I get asked every day when I'm working with clients. And I just wanted to address it for a couple minutes because I have a feeling that you might be thinking about this and wondering this too. 2015's been a really great year in the sense that there's a very natural momentum, a current that is flowing energetically through. And it's been something that if you're willing to step into it, if you're willing to surrender to spirit, so to speak, and open up your heart, open up your mind, just to allow that whatever needs to happen that's for your highest and best good can, that you can step into that current and receive and truly make that happen. And oftentimes, as we are in that current and, starting to feel things falling into place or starting to feel ourselves shift, ascend, evolve, whatever title that you want to give to it, we often have a lot of our leftover, for lack of a better term, gunk that kind of comes to the surface. And, we might be scratching our heads thinking, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Why do I have this stress? Why do I have this worry? And you know what? It's all good, because in order for us to evolve and to move to this great place and for us to really become that beautiful little soul that we were meant to be and that we were put here to be, we also have to, at the same time, get rid of the junk, get rid of the old baggage, the old wounds, heal ourselves. And so part of embracing this shift and stepping into that current is letting what happens come to the surface, allowing, surrendering, and just trusting that this is where you're supposed to be in that moment. So I hope that if you're having a bit of a tough time right now, but you also have that feeling inside of you of knowing great things are coming, that you are knowing that you're kind of like on that precipice of the great things. You are, keep going with the flow, allow the weeds to just be pulled, and just to know that you are truly moving into greatness. So I wanted to kind of pass that little thought, that little message along. So with that said, let's get into today's show. We are going to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart and that makes me very giddy with excitement. We are going to talk about old-fashioned mediumship. I bet that a lot of you don't know that how most mediums work today, present day, whether you're coming into someone's office and you're sitting down for a reading, or you're going to an event to see someone like a John Edwards or a James Van Praagh, and they're doing what we call platform work. You may think that that has been the normal, and guess what? It is not. And I'm so excited to share with you about the ways that mediumship came to the forefront, some of the great pioneers that got this going, and really to give you, I think for me personally, it gives me a greater appreciation for how mediumship became what it is today. And I'm also excited to share with you some of the stuff that I do personally and with my students that we've had happen with spirit. So in the 1800s was really when all of this phenomena got its start. And, this was phenomena that everyone could experience, that everyone could see. You had mediums that were doing things from table tipping to what we call cabinet work, channeling, spirit art, spoon bending, slate writing. You name the phenomena, it happened. And so today we're going to explore that a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this adventure with spirit and what is possible and what was and what still can be today. So let me ask you this thought to mull around with. When you think of mediumship and mediums, what comes to your mind? I know that when clients come in to talk to me, I've had people that have said to me, well, where's your turban? And it's, one of those thoughts like, well, I don't have one. What you see is what you get, normal me. I have people that think that it's like the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, where Patrick Swayze's character is just jumping into her body and, she's talking to him. Totally not like that. There's absolutely no way, shape, or form I would do the work that I do if it was. So that's a very good thing. But on top of that, Even thinking about the movie like The Sixth Sense, for example, and that poor little boy who sees dead people. Well, yes, you know what? I can see, to put it bluntly, dead people with my physical eyes, but they're not gory, they're not scary. Sometimes they might give you a blank look when they look at you, but most of what you see in the movies, if not all, is definitely a fabrication and nowhere near to what us mediums do for a living. Thankfully, I don't know how much of us would do this stuff if it was. But we have these stereotypes. We have these ideas of what we think this work is like, and it makes people fearful and nervous, and they don't understand it. And I'm hoping that today I can kind of debunk some of that for you, educate you a little bit to talk about what this work really is like and what we do, and also give you an idea of how far that mediumship has truly come from when this got its start back in the 1800s. So to give you a little bit of a preview, mediumship in the 1800s was very physical, and it was basically a situation where you would take these individuals, these mediums who would act as a channel between us, the humans, and those on the other side, and they would connect in with large groups of people. So whether they were in Grange halls, in town centers, outdoors, sometimes they used churches, and basically what they would do is they would connect in with these groups of people, and they would demonstrate this connection with the other side, that when we leave our physical bodies, we are able to keep going, we are able to communicate, to connect, and to be very present. So it's something that by their demonstrations, they did things that everyone could see, could experience, and could be part of with their physical eyes and their physical ears. And it was exciting because it proved even to some of the biggest skeptics that there is so much more to this life than just what we experience as humans and what we are doing here in this physical form. So in just a moment, we've got to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of this stuff in great detail, and hopefully have your brain thinking and your mind expanded. If you are just tuning in, you're listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, Insight and Inspiration from the Great Beyond. When we come back, we're going to explore more about the fascinating topic of old-fashioned mediumship and physical phenomena. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to the Kelly Ballard Show, Insight and Inspiration from the Great Beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to the Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Dr. Linda Salvin, Metaphysical Master, now bringing insight and metaphysical abundance to your living room with her spirit-filled candle line, Wicks of Wisdom. Dr. Linda's unique formulations of pure and powerful herbs, oils, and essences can assist you in love, luck, finances, health, and more. Wait till you experience the power of Wicks of Wisdom. Find out how these amazing candles can help you. See them now and order yours at lindasalvin.com or call 888-509-1077.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Let the transition begin. Tune in to the hit show, Majestic Insights Radio, Success for Life's Transitions, with host Carrie Keith. Carrie is a gifted intuitive coach, healer, and teacher who will lead you through her empowering techniques of ancient wisdom and awareness so you can live your happiest, healthiest, and most vibrant life. Let Carrie teach you the tools of transformation that will help you experience success for all of life's transitions. To learn more about Carrie, visit www.majesticinsights.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hey, welcome back. You are listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond with me, Kelly Ballard. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're just tuning in and you have a moment, be sure to check out the latest posting on my Facebook page about today's show. We'll have an archive of today's show up on my website, www.reflectiveharmony.com, after today's show as well. We have just started talking about the awesomeness of old-fashioned mediumship, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But as I mentioned in the beginning of our show, we'll also be taking callers in just a little bit, and you can reach me at 800-930-2819. I would love to connect in with your loved ones or spirit guides on the other side. So please call. And today, one of our lucky callers is going to receive a free 30-minute phone reading with me. So please call in. I want to talk to you. So we were talking about old-fashioned mediumship, and we were talking about basically how mediumship in the 1800s was a very physical experience. It was an experience like we see present day when we go see mediums, like a James Van Praagh or Lisa Williams, John Edwards. Those are mediums, including myself, in which we do platform work. We stand in front of groups of people and we check in with their loved ones on the other side to give messages of encouragement, advice, upliftment, whatever you are looking for. We pass that. Well, in the 1800s, when mediumship started to come to the forefront, it was very, very different. You had individuals that were doing things such as like levitation. There was a gentleman by the name of D.D. Hume, and he was considered one of the greatest physical phenomena mediums in history. What D.D. Hume would do is he would go into a deep state of trance, and he could, with the assistance of spirit, levitate objects to move around the room. And there's documented proof and evidence of him actually levitating his physical body out a window and going up 3 stories and into another window. And again, all with the idea and the thought that this was used with spirit. There were gentlemen called the Davenport brothers, and the Davenport brothers, they did a whole slew of things that many things are what I try to replicate with actually 2 of my groups of students today. The Davenport brothers were very famous for a process called table tipping. And what table tipping is, it's an idea that if you take a three-legged table, for example, preferably a round one, and have a group of what I call like-minded sitters, so individuals that all have a great outlook on life, positive, have a belief that there is more to the other side than what we know, with the idea of putting your fingers on this table, stating prayers of intention, calling in compassionate, highly involved spirits, that by having that physical connection to this table, a spirit can work through you as the individual to be able to tip, move, rock, and levitate the table. And so it's something that with my students, we have done successfully probably hundreds of times at this point. And it's a very awesome feeling the first time that you place just even the pads of your fingers on this table and you let energy build and you're excited and you're open-minded, and to all of a sudden to feel this table start to rock, to feel it to move, to feel it vibrate, knowing that nobody else at this table is forcing that, is making that. And it's a way of these loved ones to be able to touch in with us and say, hey, I can do this. I'm still very present. So the Davenport brothers were very famous for their table tipping. They also were able to move and play musical instruments with a spirit that they channeled called John King. And what the brothers would do is they would go inside a structure that they called a cabinet. And essentially in this cabinet, it was what they used at the time was they used armoires. And they would kind of cut half of the armoire open so that the audience at like a Grange Hall, for example, could see them. And what they would do is they would take one of the brothers, and they would typically, and I know this is going to sound kind of odd, but they would tie the medium down to a chair, because this was also a time where people were questioning, is this real? Is this some sort of a parlor trick? Is this magic? You've got a time when Houdini was also starting to become big. So, they would do these situations basically that they would try to get people's attention and wondering, okay, is this legit? So they would go into this cabinet, and what basically a medium needs to do is emit a substance called ectoplasm. Now I know you're probably laughing and thinking Ghostbusters and all that nonsense. It's not that at all. Ectoplasm basically is an energy that a medium will emit, typically through your nose or your mouth. It's like breathing basically, and it acts as a little bit of what I've had teachers call, think of it as like WD-40 between the spirit world, which is way above us, and then our human world. And it allows everybody to connect in this middle area, which gives a spirit wiggle room to move around and to produce this phenomena. So the Davenport brothers would take turns going into this deep state of trance, and they would channel this spirit called John King. And people out in this Grange Hall with their physical eyes and their physical ears would see the spirit, the silhouette, the figure of John King emerge from one of the Davenport brothers. And if they had, let's say, like a trumpet and maybe a piano on stage, they would see him move over to these objects, and he would start playing them, and everyone could see and hear it, even non-believers. And so what this basically started doing is this started proving to people that there is so much more to this life that's going on and happening than we're all aware of. And that when we leave this physical body, our life does continue on, and our soul is still able to interact with those who are living. I wanted to share two other people with you that are of note because they're fascinating stories. Some of you may or may not know that Abraham Lincoln and his wife also were very, very involved in mediumship. And there was a very famous medium named Nettie Colburn, who was known as Lincoln's medium. And oftentimes, Mrs. Lincoln would have Nettie come to her home. She lost children, and so it was a way Mrs. Lincoln believed that she could still connect in with her children and have a relationship. And with time, this was something that President Lincoln was very connected to. And there are stories saying that Nettie Colburn actually channeled a spirit that gave Lincoln parts of the Gettysburg Address. So really neat kind of historical things that really open up your mind to how far back that all of this goes within the world. You have famous people like Susan B. Anthony, for example, who was very big into mediumship and into spiritualism, and was drawn into the concept that life continues. Very progressive thinkers, that it was easy for them to see this, to understand it, and the information that was being channeled, coming through, that was being heard or displayed, was stuff that people couldn't refute, no matter how hard they tried to debunk it. So as time went on, there were lots of different things that happened, from, spoon bending, which, you can hear lots of stories about that. Slate writing, a process where people would believe that you could take a piece of chalk and press it between two pieces of slate, and allowing a medium to go into a state of trance, and simply holding the slates on the palms of their hands. And when the medium would come out of the trance, there would be all sorts of messages written on these slates, to also precipitated paintings, which was a belief that the Bang sisters were two very famous mediums in the 1800s that did precipitating paintings. And what they would do is the sisters would go into a state of trance, and they would have oils sitting on a palette. They would have canvases that were laid out, and these paintings would begin to appear out of nowhere on these canvases. There were no brush strokes on them. And what was really fascinating is the Bank sisters, who did this work out in Lilydale, New York, which is out on the other side of Buffalo. Lilydale is a gated spiritualist community that has been in existence, I want to say, about 135 years. They have a wonderful museum out there, by the way, that you can actually see a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today, that slates that have been written on, the precipitating paintings, and so much more. But so if you ever get a chance to go out to Lilydale, New York, you should. But these sisters, they actually made a connection with a scientist from Kodak, and they came and took the paintings and tried to analyze the substance on the paintings, and they could not find any chemicals from these paintings that matched anything that was in the oils of the paints, or they had no explanation how this appeared, but that it was something very divine. So I do this, I talk about this for a couple of reasons, and I practice some of these things for a couple of reasons. Everyone has the ability to tune into spirits on the other side, to have an open mind and to quiet yourself and to make that connection. But when you can allow yourself to also get to such a place of quiet and peace where you can let phenomena, and whether it's table tipping, whether it's feeling a tap on your shoulder, hearing your voice be called, seeing an apparition, when you can allow yourself to get to a place of that type of quiet, what we can learn and what we can experience, I think is endless. And I think it gives you another appreciation for life here in the physical, but also it's very reaffirming of, when it is our time and we do get ready to transition to the other side, that we still can make that connection, and we can still let our loved ones know that we are okay, we're doing well, and we're exactly where we need to be. And I think that's something that's very, very important, and something that can be very life-changing for people. And right now, the work that I do from that capacity is mainly with my students, because we do work in circles for developmental purposes, to grow and to connect them with spirit. And I hope someday that we can experience some of that old-fashioned mediumship and that great phenomena from spirit. So I hope it's given you some stuff to chew on. And like I said, if you're ever out in the Lilydale, New York area, please go check out Lilydale. Their museum is great. I promise you it will get you thinking, and it will have you really knowing there's so much more to life. So on that note, we have to take a break. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Kelly Ballard Show. And thanks for joining us. We will be back in just a little bit, and we're going to take some callers. So thanks. We'll be right back.
Between the darkness on the street and the houses filling up with light, between the stillness in my heart and the roar of the approaching night, somebody's calling after somebody. Somebody turns the corner out of sight, looking for somebody. Somewhere in the night.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to The Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to The Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Time right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
What if there was no right or wrong way to be a great parent? Join Access Consciousness Facilitator Glenna Rice as she and Dr. Pat invite you to be the questionable parents you truly are and empower you to know and give the awareness required to create ease and joy with your children. Join Dr. Pat and Glenna as they focus on parenting for the modern family. Tune in every month to the Dr. Pat Show on air and online at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, you're listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond, with me, your host, Kelly Ballard. So we are at the time in our show where we're going to take callers in a few moments. And before we do that, don't forget to check out my Facebook page for some information from today's show. And you can always check out my website, www.reflectiveharmony.com, for information about how to schedule a reading with me, my upcoming classes, and also you can listen to an archive of today's show and our past ones as well. So check that out for more information. So as I talked about in the beginning of the show, that there's a process that I try to do daily called automatic writing, which is where you're allowing a spirit to work through you to provide guidance, wisdom, support from the other side to help you out. So I have a brief little message that I'd like to share with each of you today from Spirit before we start taking all callers. So Spirit said, "It is with great love that we come through with messages today. We spread true joy and abundance of all great things to your listeners. We hear the prayers of many and our arms stretch wide. And although we may answer in subtle ways, your prayers never go unheard or unanswered. We teach lessons that remind us all the time that at good times not to doubt, but to let doubt always prove in good ways that you can strengthen your own belief and your belief in all things that are good and bright. Cherish each and everything, even the small pieces in life. Life is truly an unending journey. Some of the stones we hold are heavier than others, and sometimes the smallest pebble can weigh 1 ton. Now is the time to touch the sky, to embrace the earth, and while each journey is long, it is important to never underestimate even the smallest stone. It is part of the journey to trust even what we can't see, feel, or hear, and to remind you that what we do on the other side is indeed to hear your prayers, help to heal, to reinvent, and to strengthen. So, with that said, let's check in with our first caller, Julie from Minnesota. Hey, Julie, how you doing?
Hi, Kelly. Doing great.
What can I do for you today?
Yes, I was wondering if there's any messages. I'm hoping from my mom. My family's been going through a little bit with chaos with taking care of a family member, my husband's mom with dementia for 24/7 for the last 6 months, and my daughter's going through her stuff with a breakup. So I'm just seeing if our family's going to even out here over the next, hopefully, year or whatever.
And what's Mom's name?
Connie.
Connie, okay. Julie, as I'm tuning into your energy and kind of pulling mom's vibration in, one of the things that I kept hearing is for you guys, it's always, at least for the past 2 years specifically, it's always seemed like there's been something going on. And just when you have a moment or two where you feel like you can breathe a little bit, let out that sigh, it's almost like, oh, here we go again. Like, don't get too comfy. Don't get too, content in that sense. There's that moment of off we go again. And what's really fascinating to me when I tune into the energy from mom is she's saying, I need you to know, most importantly, that I've had your hand along each and every step of this path. And you, Julie, may have moments, she says, where sometimes you think about just walking away, sometimes just wanting to be selfish, and sometimes not wanting to really do anything but take care of you. And she's saying that it is important for you to know and to realize that every single gesture, everything that you are doing, that you're giving, that you're saying, that you are part of, is most certainly not, it is not unnoticed on the other side. So they see that. But most importantly, she's saying, I need you to know how proud that I am of you, of how you are being so selfless to give and give and give. I will say this to you, and she's not being... Okay, thank you. She's not being specific in what she's indicating here, but I will say this. January, February of 2016, I feel things slowing down significantly, and there's a lot of peace coming over the family, and she's not illuminating to me specifics of what's causing that per se, but it makes me feel like I can see you getting a breather for a little bit. And I will say this, I think you're going to see 2016 as a whole being a much gentler year for you, and much more of a year that you're kind of feeling like, okay, you know what, this is the respite that we've needed. Julie, if there's one thing that I can say about your energy, kind of setting mom aside for a moment, you are tough as nails, and you may at times not always feel that. You may feel as though, gosh, it'd be better if someone could carry me. But I have to tell you, I'm so impressed with your energy and your strength and what has made you into the woman that you are. And I just keep hearing back from mom. She says, let her know that my hand has always been within hers, that I love her, that I'm walking with her through this journey, and most importantly, that with everything, that she also will be there to get you through this. And I leave her with you with much, much love and sending good energy your way, that you'll get a little bit of some peace very shortly.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Julie. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So our next caller, we have Dwayne from New York City. Dwayne, are you there?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Great. I'm so glad I found you on Facebook today. This is incredible.
Well, I'm really glad that you called in. So what can I do for you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going through a really major change in my life, moving out of state, and just hoping that I'm doing the right thing and getting some good vibes from beyond, pointing me in the right direction.
Sure, you got it. So, Dwayne, first and foremost, and I almost wanted to interrupt you because you've got like two very loud spirits that were just like chomping in my ear after the first couple of words that you started to talk. So this move for you has really been something that you've been kind of mulling on for a while. And at first, I feel like it's not that I want to call it like a pipe dream, but I feel like it was something for you of like, geez, maybe it would be a good idea. Maybe it would be nice. I'm sort of seeing you like going back and forth and trying to figure out, is this worth it? Is this something that, I really want to do and I'm okay with doing, for that matter? And it's funny because I feel like that what has now gotten you to this place of seeing you kind of saying, okay, we're going to do this. Like I'm going, I'm moving. I think there's been so much divine intervention actually that has started to wiggle in, of things just kind of falling in your lap in a very gentle way and kind of giving you an opportunity to say like, all right, I think this is legit. I think this is good. So there's a very strong energy around you right now that you have momentum. You have a great, as I kind of talked earlier in the show about sort of like this current, of people stepping into, you've got the current. Holy macramole. And this is fantastic, though, because I think for this move, I will say this. You you're going to have a little homesickness. And I say that to you in a little loving way, because I think that when you adjust to, especially like living in a place like New York City, for example, it's like a whole different way of life. And I think it's a whole different way of kind of doing things from day to day, from, how you order food to, walking around the corner and grabbing something. And I think you will find equally as many wonderful things in this next venture, if not more. But I keep hearing like, acknowledge the homesickness, be grateful for the past experiences that you have, allow yourself to feel it, release it, let it go, and then remind yourself that the adventures that Spirit has in store next, wait until you see these. So I feel like the timing for you is perfect with this. And this is something also, I see your circle of friends expanding significantly in this new shift. And I don't want to say that who you have around you now is, how can I say this? You have some solid people around you now, Dwayne, but I feel like who's waiting for you in that sense. It's almost, without sounding cheesy, kind of pinching yourself like, wow, I never really thought friends could be like this. So I really like the new family support system, the new energies that you're going to be encountering in this space as well. And I'm very, very excited. One other quick little thing that I'm hearing from Spirit. Are you having someone physically move you? Or are you moving yourself?
I'm like a moving company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving company. Okay. I'm just going to throw this out to you. I just get a little bit of a vibe of like careful with there's a smaller box in that sense that has something connected either like around the bedroom, so like smaller box in bedroom. If there's a way that you can carry that or take that yourself, I don't know what's inside of it at all, but I just keep hearing smaller box in bedroom. Make sure you hold on to that. So just something to keep in the back of your mind as well. Dwayne, good luck. I'm super excited for you. You've got amazing adventures coming.
All right. And can I just ask one quick question?
We actually have to take a break. I'm
okay, sorry. All right, great. Thank you so much.
Good luck. Thank you. Take care. We have to take a break. We will be back in just a few moments to take more of your calls. You're listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, Insight and Inspiration from the Great Beyond on Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio to Limelight Radio with Katina Macris. This is an inspirational, cutting-edge radio show educating worldwide listeners on a diversity of Lyme disease-related topics. Each week, Katina will interview some of the world's leaders in health, wellness, spirituality, and human potential. For more information, visit limelightradio.com.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to The Kelly Ballard Show, Insight and Inspiration from the Great Beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to The Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthisfunny.com.
Enlightening, humorous, and compassionate. Listen live to The Kelly Ballard Show, Insight and Inspiration from the Great Beyond. Kelly is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in to The Kelly Ballard Show, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Time here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
We've already
welcome back. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond on Transformation Talk Radio with me, Kelly Ballard. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and tuning in. As a medium and intuitive consultant, I work with Spirit every day to provide my clients with answers and insight and inspiration from their loved ones on the other side. And I'm so glad that you joined us. If you'd like, you can give us a call today, too. We'd love to talk to you, 800-930-2819. And I have to do a quick little shout out to the very awesome Brian over at WBLQ, who takes such good care of our wonderful callers. Brian, thank you so much for your
not a problem. Thank you, Cal.
It. So let's take a caller then. Let's see. I think we have Jennifer from New York. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello?
Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Thanks for calling.
Hi, Kelly. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What can I do for you today?
Okay, I have so many questions, but I guess I'll have to just, turn to one question. My husband has a layoff in his job right now, and he hasn't got laid off yet, but I'm kind of worried that he may get laid off. We moved to Clifton Park about 4 years ago for his job, and we've been here strong 4 years, and I'm wondering, will he get laid off? What's going to happen to his job?
And what's his first name?
Matthew.
Okay, so Jennifer, let me throw this out to you first and foremost. One of the things that I feel very strongly is that, any time in life that we have a direction that comes in where we start to panic about something, we want to be very clear with the message that we're sending the universe. So the more panic we have, the more that we're saying, believe it or not, to the universe.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, this, bring me more of this, bring me more chaos. So you have to be also very clear about what you're saying to Spirit and saying, okay, guys, look, I'm worried about Matthew's job, but I'm also trusting that you guys will take care of us and you won't let us down.
Right.
So one of the first most important things that I want to say to you is definitely take a moment, take a deep breath, and refocus and recenter your thoughts to the positive. That's super important. One of the other things that I feel with him is that there is not a sensation of being laid off. I'm not getting a feeling of like the rug being pulled out from underneath you guys. But what I am feeling is it's time for a change for him. There's definitely a part of him that his heart is not into the work any longer. However, I don't feel that he needs to change companies, but I think that he has another opportunity with where he is right now that he can pursue. But I think it would be better if he started to look into that sooner rather than later, because there is a restlessness that I am feeling within him in that sense as well. The job that I feel him transitioning to, I do have more of an October vibration connected in with that. So I think you'll see a shift coming in as we get into the fall. And I do feel like it's going to be something that is a little bit more specialized, that would have less of a likelihood of a layoff in that sense as well. But I will say this from a whole perspective, that as I'm asking Spirit, is there any energy within the company of a layoff in general right now, and I'm not getting any confirmation from them that there is that coming in that sense.
Okay, because they said that tomorrow. They said that tomorrow they would give him the answer if he would get laid off tomorrow. Like he would know tomorrow if he would get laid off. So I was like very, very nervous because we moved.
Sure, no, I understand. Everything that I'm hearing from Spirit is saying like, nope, like this is solid. But I would advise him that if he has an opportunity to start exploring where else he can go, I would totally start looking at that and just giving him a new break. I think he's ready for something new. And I will send you guys also, Jennifer, some good sturdy energy and great abundance around the both of you. Thanks so much for calling.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Take care. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Our next caller, we have Scott from New York. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good, Kelly. How are you?
Good. Scott, what can I do for you today?
Well, I'm kind of at a crossroads, life-wise and professionally. Right now, I'm at a place where I'm living like a conventional life and have a conventional job. And as I get to incorporate more and more spirituality in my life, I've been thinking about starting a career with a spiritual base, and I'm just wondering if there's any way you can help me suss out which choice would be the best one for my life.
Absolutely, Scott. That's a great question. Scott, there's two vibrations that I'm feeling right away from Spirit. One, I think that there is a part of you that is going to be doing a little bit of the conventional work while you're doing the spiritual work. And I feel like that for you, that it's going to take a little bit of time not only to build up your confidence on the spiritual end, but also to build up the opportunities that you will allow in so that you can eventually make that shift to leave the conventional stuff kind of off to the side and allow more of the energy of the spiritual work that you're wanting to do to be kind of the main day job in that sense. And I do feel very strongly that that is very realistic. I think it's an opportunity that absolutely can happen. So for me, when I tune into that, this is something where I want to say to you, you know what, let's do this. Let's make this happen. I think that's very important. But one of the big things that I keep hearing is make sure that you also are very clear in your intentions and stating what you're looking to do. So whether it's creating a little bit of a blueprint, whether it's creating a little bit of we could say a wish list even to Spirit of what your ideal spiritual job would be, how you'd want to work it, how you'd want it to all come together. I think that would be very helpful to kind of clarify from Spirit what you want. A lot of this already has momentum around you and will start popping and happening without you having to do really any work. So there's kind of some divine intervention that's already coming together and going on with all of this. So to me, that's a very, very good thing. But I just keep hearing from Spirit, make sure that you are being clear in what you want us to help you with, and we'll bring that together. So I'd say to you about 8-9 months more of using the day job simultaneously with the spiritual work. And then I think you'll start to see a shift of being like 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, and so on and so forth. So I think you'll see kind of the weights and balances of all of that start to shift. Scott, I would love to gift you with the 30-minute phone reading today. So listen, I'm going to have you in just a moment hold on and to give the wonderful Brian your contact information, and I'd love to gift you with that reading. Okay?
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye. And our next caller, we have Alexandra from Potter Hill, New York. Hi, Alexandra.
Hey, well, hold on a minute.
Sorry. So, we are waiting to get Alexandra. We are, there we go. While we're waiting to get Alexandra.
She's there right now.
Fantastic. Hi, Alexandra. How are you?
Hello there. I'm wonderful. It's great to hear you.
What can I do for you today?
Well, I've been in a transition period for a while now, and I've been exploring new directions. And I keep coming up to a point where as I venture, whether it's going back into performing as a singer or now lately as picking up my paintbrushes again and painting, I have enthusiasm, I have desire, and then this visceral gut-level fear comes up. And I was wondering whether there's any information from Spirit as to where that comes from and what I can do to dissipate it so that I can go forth, or is it because I'm going in the wrong direction?
Well, Alexandra, you've made every single hair on me stand on end right now. I'm very excited for you. So I have to tell you, I love the singing for you because I think that's something that for you, it's therapeutic. It raises your vibration. It helps you to kind of connect back in with yourself. And to be honest with you, I'm really rooting for the painting right now, that everything that I'm hearing from Spirit, I think that the next shift that ultimately is happening for you and coming in for you has more to do with the artwork. I think the singing to me has something that's very playful and selfish in a very good way of like, I'm doing this for me. This is filling me up. I love this. So I feel that with you, but it's the artwork that I feel very, very strongly, I think is really where things are going to start popping and happening. And the fear that you have, I feel honestly, has a lot more to do with because it's the first time that something has felt very right and has felt like a good connection for you. So, my sense from Spirit, go with the artwork. I think that's where you're going to find yourself thriving. And I wish you all the best, Alexandra. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Well, guys, we are out of time today. I cannot believe these shows just fly by. And I can't wait to connect in with you all next week. I'm excited because we have the very awesome Jimmy Mack, who is a medical intuitive and spiritual life coach, will be on the show. Bring your aches and pains. Let's talk to him, see what he can help us out with. It's going to be an exciting show, and I can't wait to share him with you. I want to thank you for sharing your time and energy and your vibration with me today. Thank you for tuning into the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Have a great week. Be open to the awesomeness of the universe. And thank you for allowing me to serve spirit. Take care, everyone.
You've been listening to the Kelly Ballard Show, insight and inspiration from the great beyond. Kelly Ballard is a fourth-generation medium and intuitive who covers topics ranging from grief, spirit guides, and listening to your intuition. Kelly can help you get answers and guidance from your loved ones on the other side with a little bit of humor and a lot of healing. Tune in every week and visit www.reflectiveharmony.com to learn more about Kelly and the services she provides. Thanks for listening.